Tim is as frustrated as an Amish electrician. This morning.
What?
He will channel this energy into a creative, focused, and dynamic evaluation of Gary Ratliff. Please welcome Tim Gibson, our resident Gator, architect, and HDD sufferer to the lectern.
For those of you that did not get the Amish electrician joke, enjoy your breakfast. Gary's speech this morning was actually a very sophisticated speech. And on one hand, it was a storytelling event. On the other hand, it was kind of a difficult subject to approach and to discuss. And I think all the subjects are really any speech that involves issues of child neglect, sexual misconduct, something of that nature is a very touchy subject, very difficult to broach into a speech, very difficult to incorporate into a speech. And I think one of the things I liked about your speech today, Gary, was you have a great presence in front of the room. You're one of these individuals that you don't really even have to say anything. You just bring a great presence to your speech. Just the fact that you hold yourself very erect, you have a very deep voice, and you project well into the room. Unfortunately, you also don't have a lot of vocal variety in your speech and in your speech patterns. And I think that was really what the focus of your speech today was to talk about, to really push the edges of vocal variety. Also was to use pauses in your speech. And the speech was very effective from the standpoint it was well organized, and you brought that story to the table, and you actually include a lot of detail. I can't remember the name of your scoutmaster, Elliot R. someone.
Leonard.
Elliot R. Leonard? Is that Leonard?
Elliot Jr.
Thank you. A lot of detail, and you create a lot of interest in the story. And actually, I was actually quite surprised as to where it went. Because I thought we were kind of going down one road, so we're down memory lane, and then it kind of took a turn. It surprised me. But the objectives today are really to focus on vocal variety, and I think you need to really work on that a little more. You need to work on your pauses as well. I think when you got to the point of talking about what happened to the children that have been taken away in the night, that's probably when you need to change the tempo of your speech. And probably even need, as soon as you sort of deliver the message of this is what's happened, probably a very pronounced pause would have been very effective, I think, at that point, to let it really sink into the room that you have really done something with the speech. You have shifted the topic into something that's very emotional and very difficult to talk about. But your tempo, you kind of let it keep rolling. And I think you didn't give the audience enough time to sort of absorb the fact that you had made a shift. And I think the pause would have, if you had just really paused on that subject for just a second and kind of looked at everyone in the room, I think it would have been a very pronounced effect on the speech. Overall, great speech, great use of your hands during your gestures. You do tend to go back to this sort of contemplative position every once in a while. But I think if you kind of break your hands apart, you're actually very good at what you're doing currently. And I think we're going to hear great speeches out of you in the future.
Thank you.